Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin. Hey, y'all, it is kind of cold outside right now. I don't know where y'all at, but right now, as we're recording this episode, it is freezing. It is cold, and I'm in Vegas, but it's dry. But that dry cold, I'm learning really quickly. It is chilly, so I'm not used to this. So right now, I am bundled up. I am trying to keep warm, but at the same time, I'm trying to be warm. But hey, y'all, this has been a phenomenal season so far. We've been having some laughs, been crying, things like that. But if you are a fan of our show, you know that all of us, me, Brandon, Christina, and Lee, we're all from a specific area in Louisiana, not New Orleans, because everybody thinks all of a sudden when you hear Louisiana, automatically go to New Orleans. No, we are from a town in a city called Shreveport, Louisiana. It's called Caddo Parish. A lot of people from there, and we'll talk about who's from there. But it is a place that we are born and raised. I'm very proud of it, and it's always and forever will be home. Case in point, I went to a bachelor party, and like there was this guy trolling me at a bar, and he was like, antagonizing me, and we're in Dallas, and so he kept messing with me. He said, "Where you from, boy?" And they say boy kind of gets you kind of irritated a little bit. So I said, "Man, I'm from Shreveport." His first reaction was, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh man, I'm sorry, Shreveport. Hey, give my friend Shreveport a drink." So not saying that Shreveport is the best, but we got some respect on our name. So this episode is all about Shreveport and these wonderful opportunities coming to Shreveport's way. And sometimes we do get a negative light in Shreveport, but this episode is about the positive, and something monumental is happening. And we're going to talk about what that is. But first, before we get into that, I have two guests. I call these guys my brothers. These guys, I've known them before they got married. I've known them before they had kids, and now they are husbands and they are fathers. So it is my privilege and my definitely just honor to have two phenomenal men on my show, Dother Sykes and Tim J. Smith. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for having us, Calvin. Always a good time.
And these two were no strangers to the Straight Up Show podcast. They've been on the show, I think Dother twice, I think Tim twice too, or maybe once. But they are no strangers to the show. But before I kind of spill the beans about them, Dother, can you tell people a little bit about yourself and what do you do specifically?
I'm a stunt performer, actor, writer, and now I'm dabbling into directing. And so I'm a father first, husband, just an all around guy, just trying to be creative and change the world with the talent that I have.
Yes, sir. And he's been in the game. You've been in the game for how long?
I've been in the game since 2009. Thanks to my brother Tim, he the one that got me started in this business.
Yeah, you got yourself started. I just might have helped a little bit, but you the one ran with the ball. I just called the play.
See, this is info. I didn't even know this. This is crazy.
Yeah, he contributed a lot to why my career is still going, like a lot.
Wow. And that just goes to show you, how small Shreveport is, man. And it's crazy, Dother, because when I was at Bipsy, I was doing editing classes and learning my craft. One of my first projects to edit was actually a local movie that Tim starred in. And I was like, wow, like that is just so full circle how like Tim is a part of like, I want to say an ambassador to the Shreveport acting scene, in my opinion.
Yes, yeah. Like Tim could actually have an agency if he wanted to.
Oh, why not? And so the man, the myth, the legend, I'm gonna call him the Shreveport acting ambassador, Mr. Tim J. Smith. Sir, thank you once again coming on the show. Can you please tell us about yourself and what do you do?
Oh, well, I was born in Shreveport, raised in Benton. And I've been an actor and stunt performer this will be year number 16, going into 16 years this year. And yeah, I've worked all over the place, but I still reside here in Shreveport.
And that's what a big thing about it is like I like to hear Tim's story because Tim, you and Dother have been in a number of projects, and you all have been able to stay local and still be in blockbuster Hollywood movies. And like, if you can go back to listen to one of Tim's previous episodes, he talks about how it is just to be local and still do these different projects. But now an opportunity has arisen to where Tim, you don't and Dother, y'all don't have to go that far now because Tim, if you can just tell my audience something major, something monumental was announced last year, and it's going to impact the Shreveport acting scene. Tim, can you let my listeners know what just happened?
If you haven't heard by now, you can go on 50 Cent's Instagram and see for yourself that he is opening his film and TV studio right here in town.
Yeah, and if you haven't been, and maybe it's a cultural thing, but if you've been under a rock, 50 Cent and the G Unit Studios have been killing it with Power, BMF, and these shows have basically dominated star streaming services. And now he's going to bring that to Shreveport, Louisiana, in the old Millennium Studios. And like, I have a bunch of questions for you both. And so, I know y'all have done Dother. You've done projects with 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what projects did you do?
Streets of Blood.
And that scene, particularly in Streets of Blood, like, can you kind of describe your scene with 50 during that?
Yeah, actually, that was still one of the best moments that takes the cake because that was my first role that I booked. Still in high school. That's why I didn't go to our graduation because I was filming that, and I was hanging with 50 like a lot during that time. Which a kid at the Shreveport, you're like, dang, I get to hang with 50 Cent. This dude, this 50 Cent, But during that time, it actually gave me the confidence to be a better actor because he was like being insightful on how I was acting and gave me input and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't know, he was telling me about Power before Power happened on the sets of Streets of Blood because he was like, "Yeah, I got this character I'm creating, and I think you be a best fit, with your acting style." And that was like long ago. Then, but business is business. You got to stay you got to stay in contact with business. So, excuse me. And when it comes to agency and stuff like that, years went on. I watched Power, and I'm like, oh snap, he's talking about Drake. He was talking. He was talking about Drake. But it's the fact that he plans ahead. The fact that he already knew what he was going to do, and that's what I learned from him. Like, regardless how long it takes you to do it, you plan ahead and you get it done. And I'm very stoked for Shreveport right now, honestly. And that's going to take a big turn on Shreveport in a positive way, mostly positive, because you're going to have people like myself that don't know what to do with the career field and can meet somebody at a Walmart that can help them with, editing, a PA, a grip, and just get their foot in the door and help them grow from there. And plus, it saves 50 a whole lot of money. You got everybody from Shreveport. You ain't got to fly nobody in.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to look at it, man. And like I said, that's crazy. I can definitely see you playing. You have played Drake, Drake, and like, first off, I really love y'all's acting. And like one thing that makes me very proud about knowing both of y'all. And Dother, I forgot that you missed our graduation. Dother and I went to the same high school, played football together as well too, and graduated the same year too. So we have that bond too. And I always remember Dother wearing that. And sorry to talk trash right now, but at least Dother's Tampa Bay Bucks are in the playoffs. But unfortunately, Tim's Dallas Cowboys.
We still got the 49ers. Hey, look, we still.
But I just saw the Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks thing in the background. So, Tim, I kind of had to say something about it, man. I had to address it. So,
Not meaning to get off topic, but that was the worst loss in Dallas Cowboy history. It's going to take years to get over that.
I'm sorry, Tim. I'm so sorry.
Hey, look,
I was nothing.
I was rooting for you, Tim, man. I was rooting for y'all this year, man. Because Case in point, one of the talents that is from Shreveport-Bossier area is the starting quarterback from Dak Prescott. So we kind of have that bond too, to where we want to see our local boys succeed. But unfortunately, uh, that didn't happen too. And also, we got Devin White with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we got some local boys in Louisiana, also in sports outside of just acting as well. Um, like I said, when I watch y'all's movie, getting back on track, uh, I love watching random TV shows, whether it's CSI or NCIS or Cloak and Dagger or just random projects that you and Tim both been in. And I'm like, oh, they go Tim. Oh, they go Dother. But you know, it's crazy. I also hate seeing y'all die in these movies too. So I'm just like, so I hate seeing y'all die in these movies, and like, but it's great to see y'all getting y'all's acting on as well. Tim, my question to you is like, this is a big opportunity for Shreveport, like Dota just said. Like, you also been in Streets of Blood as well. Um, when you first got the news, and I've seen your Facebook post, when you first got the news that 50 was going to go, and in the beginning there was rumors that it was going to happen, but there was no official word. But when he made it official that G Unit Studios was that he bought the Millennium Studios, what was your first reaction?
Well, starting in the beginning, like it was like maybe March of last year that the rumors started to float around, and I'm not one that really gets caught up in rumors. Like I gotta either see it with my own eyes or hear it straight from the horse's mouth. So from like March to about like maybe in the fall, like the rumors started growing. They talked about how the lease had been written up for 50 and all, and but still, I was still skeptical. But then once I saw 50 start posting about it, um, it was one video in particular that really got my antennas up. It was 50. He was in New York and he was doing like a live video. He was at a camera studio wanting to buy cameras, like film and TV cameras. And you could hear him like holding his phone. You could hear him in the background, and he was talking to the guy that owned the place. And the guy that owned the place said, "Oh, if you buy cameras, like you're gonna end up being competition to us." And 50 said, "No, here I'm gonna be in Shreveport." And that's when my antennas went up. I was like, "Okay, maybe there is something to these rumors." And then, like once he started like making posts on his Instagram and Facebook and all, talking about how all roads lead to Shreveport and green light gang. Like, I'm doing big things. If you want to work in film, come to Shreveport. That's when the excitement really kicked in. And I'm just ready to see it unfold now.
And like I said, all roads lead to Shreveport. It's like G-Unit Studios is coming to Shreveport, man. Just to see that sign, and like I don't know if it was him that made it, but to see that sign in front of me, and I actually, not to be on my own little horn right now, but I actually do have a project I did at Millennium Studios with Josh Munns and all those people. But I did a project there, so I've never seen a movie studio. That was my first experience seeing that, and so that was crazy. But Shreveport is no stranger to movies, and like, what was the initial downfall of Millennium Studios? Like, why was that? Because during that time, you and Dother both were like, we had Snitch, we had Drive Angry, we had I think the Coast Guard or whatever, with Ashton Kutcher. I remember that movie. Uh, Olympus Has Fallen, which I was in that one too. So what was the downfall of the Millennial Studios not happening, and like kind of like it got away from y'all having work in Shreveport? What happened with that, Dother?
I think it was mostly, I don't want to blame it on the people that was running the city at that time, because going out of high school, the momentum was great. Like, you know, and they had like set up a structure where you have to have a certain amount of people living in Shreveport to be in your film. Um, I honestly don't know what happened. It had to be like, tax purposes. Would you think, Tim, like something like that, like doing along those lines, or
Um, I think it had a lot to do with because it all fell in Shreveport's lap so easily that like they didn't have to do too much to keep it around. Like they
Mm,
kind of got comfortable saying like, "Oh, it's all these films here. It's gonna be here forever, so we can just kind of not do much to keep it here." But once New Orleans really got back on its feet after the hurricane and all, you slowly started to see it go back down there. And
yeah.
I'm gonna be blunt. I know this has something to do with it too. When the police jumped on Josh Brolin down there at Stray Cat, it really started to go downhill after that.
I forgot about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not saying that's the reason, but I'm sure it contributed. Mm.
See, this is all lingo. I didn't even know this. That's crazy. And when the announcement happened with 50 Cent coming to Shreveport or G Unit Studios is coming to Shreveport, uh, and we all know this because it's like a different aura or different just feeling in Shreveport. It was not well received. And why do you think, Tim, it was so negatively received?
Like I say, I'm being blunt. Like
Be
Freeport
transparent.
has
Look
a
better.
track record of when something good is slated to come here or comes here, that it doesn't stick around very long. Like for example, I can name the baseball teams that have been here, the arena football leagues. I know Land Rover was supposed to set up shop here and do their vehicles, and that didn't happen. So a lot of times when people in Shreveport hear something big that's supposed to come, they're like, something's gonna mess it up. And I'm not gonna lie, like I felt the same way based on the history.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like had nothing but negative things to say, and like you hate to hear it, but in a way you get it, but at the same time, some things are better left unsaid. Just give it a chance, and
Give it a
maybe
chance.
this
Yeah.
could be the turning point. Mhm.
And I don't know about you two, but like I really feel like because we've seen at least a lot of people are probably not as familiar with power, but especially in the community, our black community, we're very familiar with the success of power and seeing how impactful is basically it revives stars in a way, you know. So just to see how powerful he has, like 5 different branches of power and BMF as well. And it's like, you know, wow, you did this with your studio. So it's like I don't see the negativity anymore. Like I never, my first reaction wasn't negative because I know the stuff that 50 has done. Like Dother said that, you know, he has a way of planning stuff out. So to see how powerful and big 50 did, and 50, he's not he'll troll you. He'll troll you in a heartbeat, but he's a very intelligent person. Like even right now, what he's doing for Taraji P. Henson, like that was just like, you know, hey, we're gonna pay you. You know, we'll pay you. And it's like the humbleness outside of the trolling, the humbleness of 50, I really feel like he can bring that and he fits in perfectly with the family oriented type of environment, how not only the South is, but Shreveport is as well. So I
Mhm.
think these are one of those things that will stick around, that will see Shreveport in a positive light. And like I said, I just hope the powers that be in Shreveport don't mess us up either. But Tim, and Dotha, y'all both have, and Tim specifically, like, you know, I call you an ambassador of the Shreveport acting scene because you know you've done a lot. I think, in my opinion, you've done a lot more than anybody in this area, in the area. But what, in your opinion, do you think attracted 50 Cent to Shreveport?
First of all, Report gave him the clearance. They gave him the red tag sale.
Mhm.
I mean, after he bought a studio, he already had it, and then Shreveport like, we just playing. We'll get you all this out. The fact that happened gives this man any and manageable leverage that he can. Now he has enough free money to do whatever he wants in Shreveport, which gives the opportunity for his project to be filmed. Also, independent filmmakers, because he can rent out that studio too for people that need it, for their film project. That changes Shreveport dramatic. It changes them like crazy. And I don't know. I see a lot of good things happening with that because Shreveport really needed that, and I think that's why they did that. Because each time I come to the city, I come back home, something always like starting up and leaving. Like, why is that? And at this point, it's like now you have an opportunity because I'm not gonna lie. I mean, living in that era, with Tim, he probably can, vouch for it. That was the best time when people watched movies in theaters and no one else in Shreveport. A lot more people was coming to Shreveport. Shreveport was the place,
Mhm.
and Shreveport just getting that spark back. Now they gave this man for a low price for a reason, and I feel like once that rev up, you know, I think stuff's gonna slowly start falling in place, and it's gonna rebuild Shreveport the way it needs to be, opportunity wise, even more. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen.
And
Yeah,
and Tim, and Tim, before we go to commercial break, right quick, what do you think? Because you did Streets of Blood with him as well. What do you think that kind of attracted him to come back? The price tag, obviously, because I think all of us can afford that price tag collectively. But he's been in Shreveport, for a while. I've been here before. But what do you think, in your opinion, that attracting him to come back to Shreveport and do business as well?
yeah. But it's obvious 50's a brilliant businessman, and I'm sure he did his homework before he made the decision to come here. Um, like that studio was turnkey ready. Like nothing had to be built. Like I've heard that he wants to come in and renovate it to like make it his own, but that won't take very long to do. But he knows that there's like a small core of crew base still around, but the crew base was a lot bigger back in the day. A lot of those people had to move, of course, because there was no work. But he knows that if he brought work here, that a lot of that crew base would come back. So it'll be real cost effective for him to do a lot of work here. So I'm sure the numbers did a lot of the talking, to
But the
get him.
Hmm.
scenery at all, the scenery, you think it
Oh
all.
yeah, that too. And like Shreveport's a giant backlot. Like
Yeah.
you can get from one side of the city to the other in 20 minutes easily. And like Dother said, he can have access to anything he wants. They'll shut down any road he would want to. He can shoot
Yep.
any building he wants to. Like he pretty much, like, quote unquote, has a key to the city. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. There you have it, man. Like Shreveport is about to have the biggest showtime, in my opinion, that it has had in a very long time, and it is much needed to revive what was once one, well, as Cedric Glover said, the biggest city of the South. So, Hollywood
He's doing
South.
great.
We're gonna. I know, man. That's my Cedric Glover impersonation. Shreveport, the biggest city of the South. Join us, So we're gonna have a little bit more with Dother Sykes and Tim J. Smith talk about the revival of Shreveport with 50 Cent's G Unit Studios coming to Shreveport. Make sure you stay tuned to the Straight Up Show podcast.
Here at Straight Up, we know that all lives matter, but historical events have shown that there is an inverse power dynamic between the races in our country. To highlight this, we present our Black Lives Matter merchandise. Because let's be real, some of you don't seem to understand that this isn't the organization, but a message. That message: end inequality towards minorities in America. And just in case that's too complicated for you in English, we have the phrase translated into 10 different languages. Visit StraightUpShowPodcast.com for this and all our other merch. That's STR, the number 8, showpodcast.com. Shirts as low as $19.99.
New season of Riskier Conversations. With more groundbreaking and rewarding stories. And always rolling the dice of our truths. But this is a place where bluntness wins big. The Straight Up Show podcast is back with our 8th season. So take a chance and listen now.
All right, welcome back to the Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin. Hey, if you have been listening, we have been talking about 50 Cent's G Unit Studios has officially announced that they're going to bring house and do shop in Shreveport, Louisiana, in their old Millennium Studios in Shreveport, Louisiana, which, all three of us, my guests today, Dother Sykes and Tim J. Smith, who were stunt actors and actors who have actually worked with 50 Cent in a couple of projects. And they are just as excited about as I am. We're all from Shreveport, and we all do work in TV and film. So, once again, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the Sh Sh Show podcast.
Thank you for having
Pleasure
me.
to be here.
Yeah, so we're all excited, not just us three, because I think we all had done projects in Shreveport film wise, them way more than me, but they have all done film work in Shreveport, and it was a time to be. I remember when I did my project for Olympus Has Fallen, they built the actual replica of the White House, and it was, I remember it had to be wintertime, but it was hot that day. So that was my first experience with film, to know that, hey, even though we sweating right now, we got people drying us off with to make sure we ain't sweating. But it's amazing how film works. Got to see Dother get beat up by 50 Cent in a movie, and chase down the 50 and Streets of Blood, and got to see Tim J. Smith set on fire in a movie as well. So these gentlemen have been working a lot in the industry, not only in Hollywood but also here in the backyard in Shreveport as well. So. But they're not the only ones who are excited. There are other people who, like Tim said previously, that had to move away to find project work. And then with COVID and the shutdowns with SAG and stuff like that. Like, before we go any further, just briefly, Tim, can you tell me the actor strike? Just how did it impact you, or what are your thoughts about that? And kind of quickly give us, I mean, if you can, just tell us, like, briefly, how was that for you?
The worst year I've ever had. Like, no other way to put it. Like, it shut down everything. And it started slowing down whenever, like, people knew that the strike was coming. So productions were like, all right, we're just not going to kick off because we're going to have to shut down in a few weeks anyway. So we may as well just wait until the strike comes and goes, and then we'll get going. So it pretty much screwed up all of last year.
And Dother, how was it for you? How was the strike for you? Like, how was it? How did it impact you, or what did you see?
I got kids, man. No, it impacted me, man, a lot. It definitely put a damper into what we was building, and it was definitely tough. Definitely tough. It changed a lot. It got to the point where I was like, you know what? My wife was putting me to work a lot around the house. I was like, let me go Uber or something because this strike is taking too long. But I mean, I get this for a good cause and understanding. But yeah, it definitely put a damper into my life, though.
Yeah,
Still trying to recover from it.
It was necessary, but it still hurts. So hopefully the gains that were made from it are worth it,
Yeah.
And it was crazy because, like, me not being part of a union or not being part of what y'all do, I was so oblivious and confused about why it was so important that y'all have certain rights and stuff like that. And the more, and I'm watching Tim, and Tim's been, he's not a news reporter, but he might as well be, because he's very vocal about keeping people in the loop about his business and his craft. And so I didn't know a lot of stuff. So it was very confusing to me what y'all have to go through as actors and stunt doubles and writers and stuff like that. So I didn't know that y'all weren't getting certain benefits. I didn't know y'all weren't getting paid certain things, and like the residuals and stuff like that. And like, so after I seen that, it was like, wow, because I wasn't watching the Jack Blacks. I wasn't watching like the other actors. I was watching Tim. Like, hey, Tim, like, keep me informed, keep me educated. And so first off, kudos to you, Tim, for educating the people who don't know what y'all do, the politics of it. So that kind of helped me out with it as well. Kind of transitioning into from what SAG was and what y'all, the strike was all about. Those who want to be part of this new journey happening in Shreveport, that want to be part of this Millennium, or the former Millennium Studios, but now G Unit Studios, that want to be like on a 50 Cent project. Dother, you said that Tim was the one that helped you out. Now I would like you to kind of like pay it forward and tell people, who are excited about 50 coming in. They want to, or grandma or whoever, Nene, all these people that want to be all in the movie and stuff like that. Tell them that one, it's not that easy just to got hop in the movie, but like tell them before he even sets foot in Shreveport what they should be doing right now to prepare to get a role should they be called upon.
Start work now. Don't wait till he comes. You got the LA Film Prize. Everybody's always coming to Shreveport. There's so many directors and writers that film independent projects in Shreveport right now. If you're really trying to cross over to that point, you got to show them what you can do and execute of what you can do, or create your own, Get your headshot done professionally as possible. And get an agent that believes in your craft. And your agent only gets paid when you get paid. Don't be paying these agents, just to get auditions. They believe in you already. They believe that you're going to get the job done. So, and that's for acting wise, and also stunts. Everything's visual when it comes to that. And behind the camera, it's just like showing what you can do, and have it lined up and build your resume. Because at this point, Shreveport, I don't care. You can't sleep on Shreveport. Everybody knows somebody, regardless of who you help. If somebody say they need somebody to hold their lights for their film project, you don't know anybody on that set knows somebody. You know what I mean? And not just saying that you do it just for that reason, but it's just like build connection, build a friendship, build some honest connection with people, because you never know who might know somebody. So, and just stay in the loop, Don't do it for the money, because if you do it for the money, then, it probably will never come. Easy come, easy go, right, Tim?
Right.
Like, cause I like read the comments under 50's posts, like when he talks about Shreveport, and half of them are saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna come be in the 50 Cent movie." I'm like, in what capacity? Like, I didn't say this on the comments, so I'm just thinking to myself, like, because a lot of people do think you can just show up on set and somebody takes a look at you and be like, "Oh, you're perfect for this. Let's put you in this role." Like, no, don't work like that. So to get ready, like, people, if you want to be an actor or actress, like, you need to get in a class, like start taking some acting lessons, learn how to audition properly. Yeah, like Dother said, get some professional headshots. If you want to be a stunt performer, like get yourself a reel put together, just a short video showing like your physical talents. And if you want like a crew position, whatever that may be, if you want to be a grip or working hair, makeup, wardrobe, whatever it is, find somebody who's done it or currently does it, reach out to them and ask them, what steps do you need to take to work your way up? Like, because you're going to have to start at the bottom, no matter what you want to do. And just don't think that you're going to come in and go straight to the top. Because, like I say, Dother and I, we've been in this business 15, 16 years, and we're not household names yet. So it can take a while,
I've been extra for a minute before I got major movie star.
And like I said, to see y'all, like I said, 15 years, man, like even right now, like I know Dother, you and your wife, y'all are doing y'all's own thing right now. And it's like you've already been in major production blockbusters already, but here you are still doing your own thing on the side, like, and to see it grow and to see people retweeting it and seeing y'all go on different podcasts about your love and stuff like that. Like, man, that shows you how the hard work that Dother and Tim put in, because like, even though he's not right now doing anything, or you are, but you still go home and still make more content. I'm like, man, do you ever sleep? Like, why are you still doing content? You've been in movies. Why are you still doing it? So like, what makes you keep driving? And now you're putting your wife into it to where, she's having great content too.
Yeah. So this strike really broadened my thought process on how this works. So even your favorite actor, always have a side business for this reason. So it's like you got to keep the momentum going and always try to keep the currency going in, because residuals is undetermined. When they come, it's a blessing. and you don't know when the next one's coming, if you're not working. So my wife, she was already doing the content on her own, and it's crazy because there's people on her page that see us together. They don't even know I do movies until they go on my page. They still don't know who I am. So it's just that I see my wife and she has her momentum going. I just help her for what I've learned, and we just try to work together as a team, and just try to, always keep busy, and keep everything coming in.
This is going to be a very negative question, but it's blunt about our city. And I think
Of
I can
course.
speak on this because, like I said, I've worked in TV and y'all have worked in films, but like there is a huge stigma in Shreveport, and I really hate it. To where, and Tim, you can talk about this, but like there's a sense of entitlement, when it comes to certain things in Shreveport. To me, this is a big opportunity. Can we stress about the importance of humbleness with this current project? Does it make sense what I'm saying right now? Like kind of like the sense of like, well, I'm like the Shreveport celebrity, so I got first dibs or whatever. But there, in my opinion, certain people, powers that be, there's a certain sense of entitlement. And I really think that this is a humbling experience that people should really appreciate. And can you speak on that, Tim? Does that make any sense what I'm saying?
Uh, yeah, like I think with Shreveport and like anywhere else, like if something of this magnitude comes to town, if you're higher up, like you might think you are gonna get some special benefits or whatever, but I would hope that nobody like comes up to 50 saying like, all right, I do this, so I should get this. And because 50's the type, he's not just gonna hand it to you. Like you're gonna have to earn what you get.
Hmm.
And Doctor, does that make sense what I said to you or said about just that sense of entitlement in the city or
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, yeah, like um to like what Tim was saying, Um one thing I do know, like 50 acknowledges hard work. Hard work with him does not go unnoticed. It's crazy because you never know who's watching, that type of feel. And just because you did all this, such and such, and you think you got first deals, doesn't mean necessarily that's the case for anybody. Because, um, yeah, I don't know, man. That's a good question, but yeah, he just knows his hard work, when you see it. And I hope nobody's out there thinking that they have the first dibs or they think oh, I did all this, I work with you. Duh, duh. Hey, man, well, what are you doing now? Like, how do you benefit me? You know what I mean? So, yeah, always
'Cause
be humble.
if if you actually have done something notable or worthy, like when 50 gets in his office, wherever it is in that studio, he will have heard your name mentioned.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, but still, even if he's heard your name, still walking there like he has no clue who you are.
Hmm.
and I think that's what I've learned, like, because when I first started in the business, especially in news, like I spoke negatively of someone that did me wrong in the beginning. And it was crazy because I never knew that person that did me wrong knew somebody else. So it actually put a bad light in a different production and different news department. So I was like, wow, I didn't know. So it's just that's one thing I've learned being in TV is like you never know who's watching. Be careful what you say because it could lead to different negative opportunities, or it could hurt you. So that's my piece of advice because that happened to me in Shreveport, and it made me lose opportunities because I had a bad experience with one person. But speaking bad on them, that doesn't mean they're bad with other people. So uh, trust me, stay humble. If something happened to you, keep
Yeah,
it to
stay
yourself,
humble.
and because trust me, you will miss opportunities. And like I don't think 50 is going to be here momentarily. So you don't want to burn your bridge right away. So I would definitely advise y'all to be humble with this experience and don't fumble with the opportunity here because this can set you up to be maybe a Hollywood star and stuff like that. Because now we see people like, the guy that plays Tommy. I never heard of this actor at all. Joseph Sikora. He plays Tommy on Power. Now he has his own his own TV show. So it's like, you never know where opportunities can lead you. Always stay humble. So with that being said, we're gonna go to one more break. I will have a little bit more with Tim J. Smith, Dother Sykes, uh, two Hollywood stunt actors, and they are excited about G Unit Studio coming to Shreveport, Louisiana, their backyard, our hometown. We're gonna have more of this. Outside the break. Make sure you stay tuned. Straight Up Show podcast.
I think straight up means to be able to speak in a way that is straight up, to be honest, and to speak your truth.
Raw, uncut, you know what I mean? It's blunt, straight to the point. This is what it is.
It's just a place to be open and honest, and that's what I appreciate most about it. And it provides a place for community members to come together and just be straight up with each other about things that are going on in the world, because it affects all of us.
Unfiltered, raw, with all the cursing that Calvin does.
Straight up is just being real, telling it like it is, being you.
Being solid, being who you are, no matter what it is, no matter what situation you're faced with. Right, this is who you are. It really speaks to me, saying it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. Straight up.
It's Monday, and you know what that means. A new artist hits the Straight Up stage for another edition of Music Monday. Tune in to hear talented music artists from all over the world. Artists like Victoria Silk and Jonathan Valenzuela. Come experience some of the best that music has to offer and see why fans want more. Artists like the Rap Assassin 5. It's Music Monday, only on the Straight Up Show podcast. Are you an up-and-coming artist and would like your music to be featured on the show? Don't wait. Send us a message right now.
All right, welcome back to the Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin. Hey, today we are joined by Hollywood actors, stuntmen, Dother Sykes, Tim J. Smith. They are definitely telling us about this opportunity coming to our hometown, Shreveport, Louisiana. If you haven't heard, Shreveport, the creative power, BMF, that's basically, in my opinion, has revived stars in one of the most popular TV shows right now going out. He is bringing his G Unit Studios to the old Millennium Studios in Shreveport, Louisiana, which all three of us have in some way, particularly not me as much, but have participated in the studio. So once again, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the show and actually talk about this with us today.
Thanks for having us as always, man.
Yes, sir. So, man, this is a big opportunity. And like I said, Shreveport often has a negative light. And especially one thing, and I've asked both of y'all this, I think on this podcast twice, but I want to hear it again. Like when it came to people like Tyrese and the infamous, ain't nobody gonna find your ass in Shreveport. Like when you heard that as an actor from Shreveport, or stunt person at Shreveport, Tim, how did that make you feel?
Well, I think I said the same thing last time. Like I didn't really get offended by it because I understood what he meant. Like maybe he might have came here and probably got ran up on by some girl that was like pitching to him like, oh, I'm an actress, I'm a dancer, this and that, but didn't expect or didn't think she would have to like leave Shreveport to like make a career for herself. But now looking back and him saying that and now seeing what 50's about to do, it's probably going to be a lot of people that make careers for themselves right here in town.
Mm-hmm.
And Dother, how did you feel about when 50 said, not 50, but how did you feel when Tyrese said that?
I didn't agree with that statement, but I get where he's coming from. I mean, he was trying to come from a good place, and it didn't come off that way, especially being in Shreveport, because like you look at people like there's Tim, there's me, there's there's Mona, there's a lot of people that's in Shreveport that's already working that didn't have to leave home for that, kind of like, okay, you don't know me, but Shreveport actually gave us the opportunity for where we are now. So now it's kind of like, it's one of them points like, that's why you should always watch what you say, because you never know when you have to eat your words. It could be further down the line. We never know, right? So, I mean, I get he was from good intentions, and I think to me it was comical. I thought it was funny, but but yeah, now we see people moving to Shreveport now.
Yeah.
You trying to get found in Shreveport now.
I'll say this to the people of Shreveport. If Tyrese ends up coming here to work on one of 50 Cent shows, y'all leave him alone. Don't mess with him out there yet.
Please leave him alone. I feel like 50 would do that. Just
and me personally, like I said, I didn't take offense to it, but I feel like Louisiana as a whole is kind of like, it's like a little brother, big brother. We can talk crap about, Louisiana, but you can't, like New Orleans, like we know we're New Orleans, but you can't talk about Shreveport or Baton Rouge. We know, it's like we know we're the best city in Louisiana, but so it's just a big brother, little brother type thing. I like it, but you said though to that, now people are gonna move back to Shreveport and stuff like that. I mean, I might move back too. I'm just saying, but how do you feel this opportunity? What do you see this opportunity, like the positive about? Like, what do you think this is gonna bring for Shreveport?
Definitely more jobs. I think that's more importantly, because I think the reason why Shreveport is in the circumstance than where it is now because of lack of jobs and lack of opportunity, and not just like jobs where people don't want to work. It's just like stuff they'd be interested in. Because you could see it could be a kid in high school knowing to build a film studio. Now, through his whole years, he's focusing on being seen by somebody that's working at the studio, regardless of his grip or whatever. It gives people the visual for their future to where they want to be now. And I think that changes a big part of how they work, because if you're in the city, you don't see nothing that you can see yourself at, then all you can see yourself is in that environment. But now, if you change the environment, you got people working towards to where they want to be at. So I think it's going to change that in that way, positively.
All right, and Tim, same question. Like, what do you see this brand new opportunity at 50 Cent coming? How do you think this will impact the city of Shreveport?
Well, a lot of people that are outside of the film industry don't understand how big the trickle-down effect is from a production. It's like, it's not just paying actors and crew members, like all of the outside vendors that productions have to rely on to get a production made. For example, you gotta buy lumber from somewhere for the construction crews to build the sets. You gotta hire the construction crews. You gotta hire caterers. You gotta put people in hotels. You gotta rent cars. I mean, I can go on and on and on about places in Shreveport that are gonna make money from these productions. So, like a lot of these small mom and pop shops, they'll be shopping in there. Like, so every business is gonna grow because they're gonna have to, because these productions are gonna be coming in there wanting to buy this and that, and they're gonna have to keep up. So it's gonna create jobs for people that never even set foot on set.
Mm-hmm.
So, as someone that is born and raised Shreveport, Dother, you're born in Florida, but you've spent most of your life in Shreveport. But if you had a message right now, and if hopefully he watches, but if not, but if you had a message to 50, like what would be your message to 50 Cent right now about him buying Millennium Studios and doing G Unit Studios? What would be your welcome to Shreveport message to him, or what would you want to say to him right now if he was to hear?
Man, all I got to say is thank you, honestly. I mean, you already making the step to something that nobody has done in over 7 years, close to 10 years, Tim.
What, since
So
like production's been going here? Oh, it hasn't been steady since, should I say, 10 to 12 years? Yeah.
10 and 12 years.
Mhm.
So, I would say thank you, and just give the people the opportunity that you feel, that fits best in your production, I, that's it, man. I just thank him for that. Because anybody could have done it. Nobody came and saw Shreveport. Nobody gave Shreveport a chance to even buy the studio. My goal was to buy Millennium Studio whenever I could, but the fact that he did that, was appreciation. I appreciate it, for doing that. So, because I'm here, I'm ready to work. But if I could tell him now, I'll just tell him thank you though for giving Shreveport the opportunity to take his legacy to the next level.
All right, Tim, same question. Like if 50 was listening right now and like he heard all this interviews and stuff like that, what would be your welcome to Shreveport moment, or what would you say to him about his new purchase of Millennium Studios?
Well, on the front end and back end, of course, thank you is the biggest thing that will be said. And one thing I've been saying on social media is like I've been calling Shreveport Gotham City, and 50 Cent is Bruce Wayne. Like, he's basically gonna save this place. So, I mean, saying thank you is one thing, but we're gonna show our thanks by doing our part to make him know that this is the best decision he's made since he put out Get Rich or Die Trying. So,
Ooh, nice.
yeah, like we got you, man. Like whatever you need, consider it done.
And I think honestly, from just being a native of Shreveport, I think that's what he's gonna like about Shreveport is that it's family. And like being right now, I've been traveling, we all been traveling, but like I don't know how y'all feel about this, but it's just like there's no place like Shreveport. And like I can't stress that enough because I'm in Vegas now, but I've been in Dallas, I've been in Cali, and it's just like, man, like you missed that element. Is there something about Shreveport that you just can't put your eye on it? But it's like, it's no place like home. Like the guy at the bar, he was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, Shreveport." It's like but I think there's a certain prestige in our city that people love, and I think that once 50 sets foot and stays here for a while, he will feel that love. He will feel that home. He may gain like 50 pounds, but because everybody and their mama gonna want to feed him, But I think he will feel that humbleness, and he will feel that love and that grit and that ready to work mentality. There might be some negative naysayers, but I think at the end of the day, he will get some great production because The Rock, all these people coming like, and not to kind of discredit Tyrese, but man, you got Elvis Presley's first commercial and only commercial was at Southern Made Donuts. You got Dak Prescott, you got Tre'Davious White, you got Dak. Who else? Jordan Davis, a country singer. You got Devin White. You got Morris Claiborne. You got all these people who have been a part of Shreveport legacy. Paul Mooney, Kix Brooks. You got all these people I can name that are from Shreveport that have gone on to do monumental things. And like Tim Adota said that 50, when you come here to Shreveport, you will not be disappointed. We will give you 110% of our work ethic. So I'm born and raised in Shreveport, man. Look at me now, So and I'm very proud of the work I've been doing. So speaking of work, of what we've been doing, I want to talk to Dother and Tim right quick, before we wrap up. Tim, what are some projects you have coming up or lined up right now? Now that the strike is over with, what projects can you tell us about right now?
Oh yeah, I remember last time you interviewed me, I couldn't do this because the strike was going, I think. But in March of this year, this project I've been waiting a long time for. It's probably one of the best I've done. It's a TV series called Parish. It'll be coming on AMC. They just started dropping some teaser trailers and it's looking good. And it's my first time as a recurring character. Like I did 4 episodes. I'll be in episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. So and I don't die.
Is that the driver?
Right, yeah.
They changed it to Paris?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay. I did stunts on that one. I didn't
Uh-huh.
I didn't know they changed the name. I was Googling like this. I'm
Yeah.
like, they ain't dropped this yet.
Go on YouTube, watch the trailer. The trailers look good, man.
I like how you said, I don't die in this one.
Yes, Tim, thank you. We always die. They always got see.
Hey, man, when you died in Cloak or Dagger, man, I was kind of sad. I was like, man, Dother, man, I wanted you to stay alive in that one, bro.
They always killing us, man. They always killing us.
Yeah, just make sure y'all go check it out. What's the name of the TV show again on AMC?
Parish. It'll
Parish.
Starts in March. Not sure the exact date, but I just know it's in March.
And also, you got one more with a well-known comedy that you're gonna be in, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, Half Baked 2. Yeah, but I don't know the release date of that one yet. Like, both of these were supposed to be out last year, but that damn strike messed all of that up. Yeah.
And Dother's like, man, I didn't know it. I was like, I didn't know you was in these things, like, you know. Yeah, Dother, same with you. What projects do you have lined up right now? Like, tell us about.
All my projects released already. I worked on Lioness. That's already out. But any project,
Waco?
I mean,
you did that Waco show too, right? Yeah.
Waco, yeah. I mean, I have a few calls, but it's not, certified yet. So I just got like 2 calls yesterday, so it's not certified yet. But yeah, that's the projects I've got going on if it's certified. But other than that, I'm just working on my own projects. I've been doing some writing on the side.
And
sell these scripts.
Yeah, and he's one of the funniest people. Like, for y'all who follow Dother right now, that has been Dother since we were kids, man. That has been Dother just even right now, like Dother, I even like still carry a part of your craft with me. Like, I've been biting off your stuff because I go around to work or I go around other people like, and y'all, and I don't know where you got that from, but Dother, let me tell you, can you just do it for us, please? Do it for us.
Yeah. One of them church hymns, man. You don't know.
And the thing is, like, we'll be in the hallway in class or something like that, going to class, and you just, where's Dother? It's out of nowhere. Man, so like ever since then, man, like that's my memory of Dother, man. So he just to carry Dother's comedy and other people can laugh at it, man. That makes me like proud, like, man, I got this from Dother, like, just to see Dother and your craft, which you've been doing all these years, man, from kids and now, lets me know that you would take this job serious. So I'm very proud of both of y'all, man. As I said before, to watch you both as single men to now fathers and husbands, like, man, that is definitely encouraging to me, especially when it comes to the stereotype of Black men and specifically. But it's like to see y'all and see y'all doing y'all thing, still working, being great fathers, and like seeing like the young kids growing up with Tim and his first time as a father, Dother, your kids growing up and they're doing their own like crafts and cooking and all that stuff. Like, man, it is wonderful to see y'all's growth. And so I hope to see more. We want to definitely follow y'all more. And so with that being said, Dother, how can people follow you on social media if they want to see all your works and see your upcoming projects?
It would be The Real Dother, spelled just like I THE, The Real Dother. And that's basically all my social media. Dother Sykes is just Facebook. And it's the same with everything. So you want to keep up to date, follow me there. Let me know you follow from the show, and I will follow back.
All right, Tim, same thing. How can people follow you and see all your work that you're going to be doing, your stunts and things like that?
Yeah, mine is Instagram, Timbo Slice 1985. Yeah, so like I mainly post on there when something's about to come out. But in between, I'm posting memes and videos.
I'm gonna say memes.
And Tim has the best memes. I don't know how you find these. Yeah, he's the meme king. Like, I don't know how you found these videos, bro, but like the videos you post, man, I'm like, man, like they're undefeated. So, man, once again, like, yeah, Tim,
That's one thing I'll brag. I don't brag on anything, but can't nobody see me in a meme battle.
oh no,
Nobody.
not at all. No,
Nobody.
just
That should be a competition. That should be a competition to meme battle.
you need some meme therapy, bro, because you've been just
Hey, come see me.
like, you know, what's crazy. My algorithm is set for have Tim. Like, I would open Facebook, Tim has a brand new. So let's go out with a bang right quick, y'all. Let's talk to the city of Shreveport. We are natives. Tim, give us a message. Talk to Shreveport. Tell them a message right now about what's going on. Tell them like, hey, let's get excited about this. Give us a message about Shreveport.
All right, Shreveport, I know like we do have a track record of like maybe thinking negatively when we hear about something good about to happen to the city. But I honestly believe that this is the turning point, like starting with this, because when this comes here and it does well, other things will follow. So look at this as the turning point, like see the silver lining, because it's a great thing that's about to jump off, and let's make it stay. Like, let's do our part.
All right, Doth, the same thing with you. Let's talk to Shreveport. Give us a message.
Shreveport, let's get it. Time is coming. I got the message. You know, let's go ahead and start now. Look at your friends in your circle. You know, look at people around you. If, you know, they can help you get further to where you are now, y'all get to work and work on something and work your way up towards that. And, you know, let's stop all this foolishness. I know we get all the bad negative reviews and killing all that. Nah, don't pay attention to none of that, because better things are coming. They just stand to the side and they just work. Let's get to work, you know.
All right, there you have it. Hey, gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for coming on Straight Up Show Podcast and lending your voices. And I'm excited for this opportunity. So once again, without further ado, help me. Once again, thank you, Dother and Tim, for coming on the Straight Up Show Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
That's it. That's the end of our show. Hey, y'all, make sure you follow Dother and Tim. And I promise you, whether you want to laugh, you want to see their work, you want to be inspired, follow these gentlemen. If you're in the Shreveport-Bossier area, listen to what they're saying. It is opportunity coming, and opportunity that you don't want to miss, because 50 Cent is a brilliant person. If you haven't followed him on social media, follow him and watch his current projects, Power, BMF, and see why people are so drawn to it and why he's able to do business with stars. And now I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the Shreveport-Bossier area. With that being said, that's the end of our show. Make sure you follow us on social media. You go to our website at straightupshowpodcast.com. That's STR8upshowpodcast.com. There you can see previous episodes with Dother and Tim about their experiences as not only as fathers and men, but also professionals and actors, and see their projects as well. If you want to support the Straight Up Show Podcast, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Straight Up Show Podcast 318. That's patreon.com/Straight Up Show Podcast 318. Until then, there's only one rule to our show. You gotta be
straight up.
Straight up.
All right.